Hello, everyone. IMS welcomes you all to the webinar series, The B School Insider, all you need to know about your dream school. And I'm your host, Kalyani, for this series. So today we will be focusing on SIBM Pune, prep journey, campus life, academics, and placements. In this session, we will be talking about important points such as the prep journey of the panelists who have joined us today, SNAP prep tips, selection criteria at SIBM Pune, academics at SIBM, why SIBM Pune, placements, top firms who are visiting, a day at the SIBM campus, why SIBM is known for its top class infrastructure, and more. So let's welcome our speakers today. We have Tisha Sangvi. She is from the batch year 2025. We have Soumya Singh from batch year 2024. We have Agneet Das Gupta, he is from batch year 2023. He's an associate at Bain & Company. And we have Asim Raje. He is from batch year 2021. He's a manager, strategy and operations at AB InBev. Welcome all of you, and thank you so much for being here for this session. So let's start from the beginning. So let's start from your prep journey. So if you have already been taking or preparing for CAT, then maybe you can take your prep journey from CAT to SNAP, and what kind of how different it is preparing for CAT and SNAP and taking the test for SNAP and CAT. If you guys can just briefly maybe talk a little bit about it, and of course your undergraduate background, what were you studying, and were you having work experience before you applied for MBA? So okay, we'll start from the current batch. Let's start from Tisha, then Soumya, then Agneet, then Asim. Yeah, Tisha.
So, hello everyone. My name is Tisha and I'm pursuing marketing in SIBM. I had done my Bachelor's of Commerce from JLS University, Ahmedabad, and I'm a fresher. So, I started preparing for CAT and for SNAP and other college entrance exams for like last 6 months from the CAT. So, I started from June. I started taking mocks for SNAP every alternate days for the months of June to September and October also. And in November, I was taking the mock exams every day. So I was backtracking the whole journey. I was learning from the mock exams. I did not prepare as such because I knew that my grammar was good enough. So my strategy or my prep journey was for English or for verbal section. I used to do it in 6 to 7 minutes. I used to take time in DILR and I only used to attempt those questions in which I was very confident about. And quant was a section in which I was not very confident about. So I used to only do the questions or only do those type of questions like clocks and calendars and everything in which I knew that I would give my 100%. So for me, I focused on accuracy more than the attempt rate. So attempting questions and not knowing it would give you negative marks. Talking about the difference between SNAP and CAT, the major difference is the time and the number of questions. For SNAP, 1 minute, one question is what we think in our mind is 60 questions are there, 60 minutes. And for CAT, there is section-wise division. So in each section, you have to excel to be in the top some percentiles in CAT. For SNAP, it's not the same. You can choose your section. You can switch between sections. So that is one plus when it comes to SNAP.
All right, great. Thanks, Tisha. Yeah, Soumya.
So, good morning, everyone. I am Soumya Singh, and I'm 23 years old. I come from an academically diverse background. I pursued BSc Honours Zoology in my graduation. After that, I took a gap year to prepare for various B School examinations, and I prepared for CAT, NMAT, ZAT, SNAP, every other exam. So majorly a chunk of the portion was prepared through CAT only when it comes to SNAP because the syllabus overlaps a bit. But what I did specifically for SNAP was first speed is like the key element over there. So speed over accuracy or accuracy over speed is like a confusion among many aspirants. Other strategy was banking on my strengths. So just like Tisha, quants was a pain point for me as well. But I knew my verbal is strong. So I set specific time that in this time, I should be able to complete all the questions for verbal, then LRDI, and then quants I kept for last so that I can solve all the relatively easier questions.
Okay. Yeah, Agneet.
Hey, hi everyone. Very good morning, and thank you, Kalyani, for the warm welcome. So when I talk about my Snap strategy, first of all, I was coming into it with 2 years of WorkX, and I was giving all my exams while working simultaneously. I prepared for the same also while working. For Snap, one thing was that my year was the first year they moved to the 1 hour format. So everybody, there was a lot of
Okay.
we didn't know what was coming in store because it was 1 hour and we didn't know what the level of difficulty will be. Now that papers are there, so everybody was just making mocks based on the Snap mock that they released. So there was a lot of confusion what it was going to be like till the first mock happened. For preparation strategy, Snap is, I think, Tisha and Soumya have mostly covered it. It's more of a time-based exam, right? You have to capitalize. You don't know a question, move on to the next one. But mostly Snap questions are more doable in nature. So rather you can just go at it. Like I primarily went with like the 3 question strategy. I would take 3 questions, choose the easiest one, then do the next 3. Like do it in the order of easy, how easy it is. And also definitely, though it doesn't have fixed time slots for different sections, I would suggest keep that in your mind. That's a healthy gap to keep. You realize you allot a certain bucket of time for every section, like which depending on your strength. Like I knew it's very strange that even my strength was verbal. So
Okay.
not pointing out any pattern. It's just the sample space, guys. But so I also had kept verbal from. I knew that I would capitalize on it at the very end of the paper, so I kept it for like the last 10-15 minutes. I knew I would be able to finish it. Majority of my time I gave for DILR and quant. So yeah, that's about it what I tried for Snap. And from preparation strategy, try to time cap yourself when you're preparing for Snap. It's very, very important. Just don't solve as many questions as you can. Solve as many questions as you can in little amount of time. Like give yourself a certain time slot and see how many you can do in that much.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, Asim. Yeah.
Yeah, hi everyone. Good morning. Thank you so
Mm.
much, Kalyani, for the welcome. So I'm a bit ancient compared to all of you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
2021
And
batch.
you've already done the session
Yeah,
last year as well.
I was going to say this, Asim. I said that Kalyani went from the order of relevant to irrelevant.
yeah. But yeah, absolutely. I mean,
No, so for internship and placements, it will be
yeah,
the other way around.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what I can give you insights on, even though my format for the Snap was a bit different, definitely my strategy. So I come from 2 years of work in software development, and I was preparing along with my job. So for me, preparation was like you have 9 to 10 hours of work and then 3 hours of prep every day, made be for CAT or Snap. And I found that there were a lot of overlapping topics for Snap as well. But the main focus has to be, I think, on mock exams and reviewing those papers thoroughly. Because if just you give the exam and then you don't really go through the mistakes that you've made and improve them, then I think it's of no use. And second, as everyone has already touched upon, speed is important. So I would, ask everyone to make sure that you're reading the question very well in the first attempt, and you shouldn't waste time in reading it twice. Otherwise you'll waste a bit of time. So that would be my 2 cents on this.
Okay. Yeah. So what I understand is that the approach. So, are you taking in Tisha and Soumya? Maybe you guys can answer this for the prep journey bit. Yeah. So, so is it like for this section for Snap, are you taking separate time out from your CATPrep and then preparing for Snap? Or was it like simultaneously, or like if you're getting enough time between preparation for CAT, that you were preparing for Snap? Was it something like that? How did you if you had to set a timetable for Snap and for CAT, how were you managing it? Tisha, maybe you could take this answer, and Soumya, you could just pitch in. Yeah.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
knew that I had 6 months to prepare. I was a fresher and I wanted to get it done somehow. So for the 6 months, I started studying for around 8 hours, in which
Okay.
I usually gave 2 hours to Snap only. What I used to do is one day I used to give mock for 1 hour and then I analyze it for 1 hour. And the other alternate day, I used to give short mocks, the section wise mocks that we have on all the platforms. So that is something that I used to do. And yes, I used to take out time because the syllabus is a bit different. When you go to Snap, grammar is more important in verbal. There are questions that are directly asked. So that is something I used to brush up. Clocks and calendars is a type of thing that is not usually asked in CAT. So that is something that I had to learn also. And there's some short tips and tricks that are in that can be used in quant also. So that I used to learn for Snap so that I can perform well.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Soumya, you want to add anything?
Yes, so for me, like I gave one mock in October just to see where I am when it comes to Snap. Because
Okay.
even though the syllabus is overlapping, but since it's 60 minutes, 60 question, I just wanted to test my speed. After that, I focused solely on CAT, and once CAT was done, my sole preparation was for Snap. So I was giving mock every alternate day, and in between that, I was analyzing the mocks thoroughly. I was revising all the formulas, and just like Tisha said, I was trying to learn the shortcuts, the tips and tricks.
Yeah, can we crack Snap if we start our prep from today? Soumya, can you take this question?
Sure. So like this is a good time to start for Snap preparation. So even though there's like this myths in the market that Snap is like the easiest exam, but I would like to say it's a student-friendly exam. You do not have time for specific sections, so you have the additional responsibility of making sure you time it accordingly to your strengths and weaknesses. So since it's October, it's like a good amount of time to prepare for Snap. You can cover all the topics. Focus on the additional topics which come in Snap other than CAT and on the speed as well.
Okay. Yeah. How to analyze mocks? What strategies can be used while analyzing mocks in order to improve scores? Agni, would you like to take this?
Sure, gladly.
Yeah.
So when you're looking at mocks, so this is what I did, and obviously, so sometimes you're time bound, right? Sometimes you feel like you couldn't attempt a question, maybe you couldn't give it enough time. So first, what I would do is I would first look at the questions I got wrong and see if I didn't have the boundary of time on me, then how well would I be able to answer it. Once I was done with that and I knew that okay, I didn't know the solution for it, then I would go through the solutions once that what was the point that I was missing. And no, even the questions that you got correct, I would still suggest having another look at that, because there's and for especially the solutions that they provide, right? Check through the solutions of the questions, even that those you got correct, because there might be a quicker way where you might have saved time. All right, that is one. Those are a few pointers from my end. Other than that, like Asim pointed it out and it was very true that be very careful about comprehension. Question comprehension is very, very crucial and is not specific to Snap. It's about any exam you give. Question comprehension is very, very crucial. So sometimes, especially this happens a lot in verbal, we do not get the grasp of what exactly is asked. So see that you're even if your thought process of you got the answer correct, but if your thought process is not the right one, then it doesn't count because you might not get the answer correct the next time. So be very careful about that.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Attendees, we will be taking all your questions in between the other sections. So let's move to the next section, which is all about the selection criteria at SIBM Pune, and along with the personal interview experience of all of you. So yeah. So let's start with the selection process first. What all are there? Is there a GD? Is there a written ability test? And then there is a personal interview. How does it work? Tisha and Soumya again. Okay, Tisha, can you please answer this? Very briefly, the selection process, and then you can talk about your personal interview experience. Yeah. And then Soumya, please keep adding if something is, if something comes to your mind. Yeah, Tisha.
Okay, so there is usually there is a group exercise, VAT, and then a personal interview. So VAT, I remember that the ART team took us on a call, and then we had to write that VAT exam. And then after it, there was a group exercise which included 8 to 9 people. After it, there was a personal interview, and I remember my personal interview was 7 in the morning. And that particular day, there was a tsunami, and some other thing also happened. I cannot recall it, but those two things were happening that time. So in my interview, also they asked me such type of questions that were related to general knowledge. So it's very important to make sure that you know what is going on, and IMS was a big help in that. I remember attending all the sessions that were related to GK, whether it was a war that was going on that time or the short sessions that were important. And the interview was very friendly. The panelist was they were trying to make a conversation. So as long as you can make sure that you are a part of that conversation, it works for you. It was related to you, your personal experiences, your weakness, your strength. So it was very friendly for me.
Okay. All right. Tell me something. So for the group project that you guys were given, was it like a topic or was it like a case study? What was it?
There was a topic given to us and
Okay.
there were solutions given to us, and we had to
Okay.
filter out the best amongst it. It was like
Okay.
that.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Soumya, can you
Yes.
talk about your personal experience? And also, if you can, Tisha, you were not asked anything. You were a fresher. You were not asked anything from your undergraduate subjects and all that, were you?
No, I was asked related to marketing because I said I wanted to pursue marketing. So that
Okay.
I read beforehand, but not about the subjects.
Okay. Yeah, Soumya. Yeah.
Yes, so one difference I'd like to point out. So generally, B schools conduct group discussion, GD, but over at SIBM, we have group exercise. So
Yeah.
the main aim is that the group should be able to come to a consensus. It's not like you're debating against each other. You should collaborate with each other. So that's the thought process behind it.
Okay.
And when it comes to WAT as well as GE, it's pretty dynamic and it changes every year. So for Tisha, it was different. For me, it was different. Like certain blocks were given and we had to choose the tools and what the solution can be achieved through them.
Okay.
So even in WAT, you can expect the same, that the pattern will be changing. For personal interview, I feel that the panelists at SIBM, they were taking a very holistic approach. It wasn't like inclined towards my undergraduate, or when I said that my interest is in marketing, it wasn't like just marketing or just my hobbies or personal experiences. They covered each and every bit. And surprisingly, I wasn't expecting any question from my undergraduate since I'm from a pretty diverse background. But they did ask me. So I still remember they ended up asking me difference between algae and fungi. So even though you might expect, if you're from a diverse background, that the panelists might not be aware of it, but they will ask you some questions. So be prepared for that as well.
Okay, let's break the pattern. First, Asim can go and then Agni. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, for my exercise, we also had the group exercise. We had the VAT as the personal interview, but it was pre-COVID, so everything was on campus. And for the group exercise process, like we were given kind of a puzzle to solve. And I think what they are trying to see there is who is trying to organize the entire team into the most efficient way, because we did not manage to solve the puzzle, but then at least we approached it in the right way. And I took a lead in trying to assign, let's say, two people try to solve first part, two people try to solve second part, and that was enough to kind of select us into the next round or whatever. For what they gave us a very abstract topic. The topic I still remember was like something, a black door or something like that. It was very abstract, and like we have to try and make something out of it. You don't have much time, but it was very interesting. And for personal interview, I think for me, my personal interview was the last in the entire process. And literally it was almost 5:45. Everyone was leaving and I was going for the interview. But yeah, I think it's very important that you don't get worried that if my interview is last, how will it go and all of that. You go in and you have to just try to make it like a conversation. That is my style of interviewing. So I work from the IT insurance industry. So they asked me a few questions on insurance and I was really well prepared for that. And I think it's mostly around your profile. But what I did additionally is I had prepared a lot about SIBM, and similarly, any other college you go to, try to prepare a lot about what that college is, doing or what they're offering. So for SIBM, I knew there were some clubs or something like that that I wanted to be part of or I was interested in. And also, it's there is no shame in admitting that you don't know any answer to a question in an interview. And it's a tip for not just MBA interviews, but any interview you give in the future, right? That you're not expected to know every single answer, but you're expected to acknowledge that, okay, you don't know this, but you'd like to know if the interview is able to have a conversation with you and you're able to carry that conversation.
Okay. Yeah, Agni.
Hey, hi, thank you so much. First, there was a question that I would just like to clarify because it kind of shocked me. The the ART, like the admissions team conducting the process, they do not score you for any round. I think somebody just asked if it's them scoring. They do not
Okay.
score you.
Mm.
Scoring is always done by panelists. Okay, they are just there to facilitate the process.
Mm.
Just to clear that out.
Yeah, sure.
About my process, yeah. So I also had the GEP I bought. So like Soumya says, the GE keeps changing. For my year, it was we were allocated a certain amount of budget, and we had different pictures and texts. We had within the budget, we had to come in a consensus and choose certain pictures and texts and form a story around it. That was
Okay.
my GE. So that keeps
Mm.
changing every year. It will not be the same. Um, what what might help is something that Asim pointed out. Teamwork does help. But while we're talking about that, what I would like to call out is, do not, if so, everybody cannot be the manager there. Okay.
Yeah.
If one person's already allocating time, second person allocating time just doesn't look right. Then how do you make yourself stand out, right? If one person's already done the allocation,
Correct. Yeah.
you still can do your bit by just, being the right team worker. Even if somebody else has allocated the time, add valuable pointers, all right, to see how you can take the whole story forward, take the team forward with what you're doing. That is going to be very crucial. And about GE preparation, there's no such preparation that you can take. What you can do is maybe so just a minute or things like that keep you very on the feet. So that's what I feel SIBM's process tests a little bit, is how quickly you can think on your feet. So
Okay.
that is going to be very crucial. For my PI, it was very resume based. Okay, they asked me questions primarily from my work ex, what I had done in the past. I had published a paper. They started asking me on that. So you have to be very conscious about your resume. You should know that very well. There should not be anything on your CV that they can ask you about and you do not know how to answer.
Okay, so now let's talk about the academics at SIBM, and we'll keep taking questions anyway in between. Academics, let's start from the subjects. When do you choose the electives? So maybe Soumya, you can talk about also when do you choose the electives? Is it through bidding? What is it? How do you, when the semesters, if you can just tell us the general academic structure, first year, second year. And then Tisha, you can just add in, your
Sure.
first year experience so far. Yeah.
So you have to choose the specialization pretty early at SIBM.
Okay.
So within the first month, expect that you will be asked to choose your specialization.
Okay.
But there's a lot of help given. So firstly, the faculty members, then your seniors, then all the councils, the special interest groups, they conduct a plethora of sessions to make you aware of what each specialization encompasses of, what are the opportunities in that specialization, what roles you can expect over there, what companies you can expect. So you are given all the necessary information you need to make this a decision of your specialization. And lastly, there's a psychometric test that's conducted by SIBM, and then they give you a counseling session along with it to help you make the final decision. So even though, so I think that it's a pretty good thing that you have to choose the specialization early, because then you are like kind of set on the path. And then you have to select your minor in the second year.
Okay. Yeah. Tisha?
Okay, so there are a lot of guest sessions which I love about SIBM, because every council or every special interest groups has their own sessions related to the topics. That is also very important for us to attend. We get the industry insights from that. Talking about the academics, it's very practical based. There are tests, there are practical learning in which we go to the industry. Like I remember doing one of the learning related to it. So we went to the industry and we came to know about the whole process. So like, even if you select the specialization right now, there are some subjects from other specialization that you have to learn, which makes it very important to get the holistic development.
Okay. Yeah. And how was your first day at SIBM? I can ask you because you will remember it also. It's fresh in your mind, I guess. Yeah.
So I was full of excitement while coming here and looking at the campus beauty. It is like hilltop heaven for a reason. Looking at the campus, looking at the people around, it was very beautiful. I was very excited. And the first induction session, I remember attending all the sessions and looking at those directors are speaking and giving us confidence that we'll be able to do it, whatever it is. I had a whole new experience because my 2 years of college went in COVID. So this was
Okay.
practically the first time I was going to the college, getting a experience of hostel life and everything. So it was very different, and it was full of like excitement, learning, and everything.
Okay. Yeah. Tell me something. What if you have chosen a specialization and then later on, you are not very happy with it, then what do? Can you take something else, or how does it work? Can you choose something else altogether? Who would like to answer? Tisha, you would like to answer? Agneep, you would like to answer?
I can take this.
Yeah.
So there is a time slot up to which you can actually change, and it's pretty flexible. Like you get to do a certain amount of classes, and you get to know about the subject. It's a
Okay.
decent amount of time you get before you have to finalize. So if you once you've chosen your specialization, and you've after attending classes and maybe going through the material that you get, you realize this is not for you. You can actually talk and change it again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that is.
But this is like maybe what, first 2 months only, not.
I am a little blurred about the timeline,
Okay.
but
Okay.
around a bit more than 2 months. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let's talk about the clubs and committees. And first, tell us the clubs and committees that are there, and then all of you can talk about which all clubs and committees you are part of, you were part of, and yeah. And is it compulsory to be part of any clubs and committees? What if you don't want to be? It's okay. Okay. So who's gonna talk? Soumya. Tell us all the clubs and committees that are there and which one you are a member of. Yeah, and then we
Sure.
can do the round. Yeah.
So SIBM Pune boasts of a student-driven culture. That's like one of the most important pillars of SIBM Pune. Everything from admissions to placements to sports to the cultural activities, it's managed by students. And when we say it's managed by students, it is actually, and it's not like overruled or governed by the admin. We are given all the creative freedom that we need. I am personally part of the aspirant relations team, and I'm the coordinator of it.
Okay.
We facilitate the admissions process. Other than that, there is RSDT, that is the Research Scholastic Development Team. They help students with various sessions for the specialization. They help students prepare for the summer internship and the final placement as well. Then there is a co-curricular team which organizes all the cultural activities. There's Garba Night, Ganesh Chaturthi, then our annual fest, that's Transcend. The alumni team, which manages all the relationships with the alums, and they conduct various sessions with industry stalwarts as well. Then there's the placement team, which assists with the placement process for both summers as well as the final placement, and like a plethora of other councils. And then there are special interest groups. They are focused towards the specialization, that is marketing, finance, HR, and then operations. Other than that, we have special interest group for consulting as well, because SIBM Pune has seen like a growth in consulting roles as well in the past few years. Then there's a new SIG for product management, because that's like very up and running nowadays in the market. And then there's one for debating and quizzing, that's the quad.
Okay. Yeah. Asim, which clubs and committees you were part of?
So I was part of the Opsilence committee or the special interest group, and what we did is basically to increase the knowledge of operations and increase the interest of the students in operations. So yeah, I was part of Opsilence.
Okay. Yeah, Agni?
Sorry for the lack of diversity, guys, but I was in the same council as Soumya is, and I was the coordinator of it last year. But yeah, so there are a lot of councils that handle different functions of it, and it all comes together. It's very well structured. So there's a core executive council that takes the which has a representative from all the different councils, and there needs to be a lot of free flow and communication between councils. Like aspirant relation team handles the focus towards aspirants, but there's a whole different council that looks at the PR for the entire campus, and I think Tisha will tell you more about it later if I'm not mistaken. And other than that, so like the councils need to talk to each other. One council prepares you for the placement process, one council conducts the placement process, so that all that is set together very well. So and like Soumya pointed out, it's the creative freedom is given to the students, where they can actually bring something new to the table and do something well for the campus. So that helps in your growth.
Yeah, Tisha, you are part of which clubs and committees?
So I am part of iSmart, that is the PR team. So
Okay.
before coming to the college, I had a look at all the other councils and special interest groups, and I was very clear that I'm going to be a part of iSmart because I was a graphic designer. Like I did a freelancing, I did internships on the same field. So iSmart handles the whole all the digital platforms of SIBM Pune, and it has its own digital platform also, digital presence. When it comes to coverage of any sessions that are going to happen, when it comes to like right now, the one is going on, which is the sports management team. So we have to cover those sessions. We have to be
Okay.
there for them. And then there is a one event that we conduct, that is a PR case competition. So iSmart is all about the creative freedom, all about being in line with the trends, in line with like whatever is going on the digital phase. So we are the face like.
But tell
of
me
it.
something, you guys are studying and doing so much otherwise too. So, how exactly is your a typical day at SIBM campuses? Like, do you guys get to have enough time to enjoy the scenery, the scenic view? Yeah. Tisha, how has it been for you so far? Very hectic?
So,
First year is usually
yes.
supposed to be very hectic for everybody, I think. Is it, Soumya? First year is more hectic, second year is more chill?
Definitely. So in the
Yeah.
first year, you have your summer internship process. That's very crucial. So
Mhm.
first year is pretty hectic. After that, second year, it depends on a lot of factors, but it's relatively relaxed.
Correct. Yeah, Tisha, you were saying. Huh.
Yeah, so it's my first 3 months in SIBM, and
Hmm.
it is a bit hectic when it comes to academics and when it comes to all this council related work. But
Correct.
I like it because it gives me something else. Like I don't have to just focus on academics. It's not just what MBA is all about. I
Hmm.
get to be a part of a group, a community wherein we interact within each other. We get to interact with a lot of other people. So it helps me push my creative limits also. It helps
Hmm.
me to be representative and to be responsible for something. So it gives me a part of like responsibility and everything. It teaches a lot of things.
Okay. Yeah, tell me, in academics, what are the what are the specializations that are available in at SIBM? Can somebody tell me that? Tisha, Soumya, Agni, Asim, please do jump in. Yeah, I will be asking you a lot of questions regarding
Yeah,
placements.
yeah.
Don't worry about that. Yeah, yeah. Soumya, Tisha, please answer this. The specialization.
Sure. So there are
Hmm.
like 4 specializations: marketing, HR,
Hmm.
finance, and operations. These are the 4
Okay.
specializations in MBA flagship. Other than that, we have another program, MBA in innovation and entrepreneurship. It's for budding entrepreneurs who have like a business idea. So that's a different course as it is, but in flagship,
Okay.
there are 4 specializations.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Also, let's talk about the infrastructure. Everybody, like whenever I Google SIBM Pune, everybody is gushing about the infrastructure. Oh, it's so beautiful and all that. What is it that is so special about SIBM Pune? And also, why choose SIBM Pune, say, compared to some of the other top B schools? Yeah, why choose SIBM Pune? And also the infrastructure. How different is the infrastructure? Why is it like so talked about? Asim, you
Yeah, I
want to
can
take
take
a
it up.
question? Yes.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
So basically, for me, the reason I took SIBM is because I had already read a lot about, and I had friends who were in SIBM in the past, and I had heard a lot about them in terms of the campus, how beautiful it is. It's on a beautiful hilltop location, and the facilities are absolutely state of the art. And really, there are times when you pinch yourself if you're really seeing these kind of views. Out of your window, you have beautiful sunrise, and you have like peacocks around in the campus. Absolutely stunning, no doubt about it. And why choose SIBM? I think SIBM, first of all, what I had considered is that the batch size is considerably smaller than some of the other colleges. So I believe that it was easier, to get placed. Plus, the kind of companies coming on SIBM campus, you could see the placement report. Really, really top-notch companies, and it's just grown since I have done my MBA. So I think the opportunity to work into a great organization post my MBA, and also to experience that campus life and to experience those kind of hostel life. I think that's why I picked SIBM.
Okay, yeah. Anybody else? Why SIBM?
Maybe
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
add a little bit.
Hmm.
So for me, I saw that SIBM Pune has like 4 strong pillars. First being like the 46-year-old legacy. It's being such an old B school. It's so considerably, it has a very rich and diverse alumni network as well. Then coming to placements, just like Asim pointed out, it's top notch. Then the curriculum over here, it's pretty diverse. Even if I ended up taking marketing, but I have like knowledge of all the related fields as well. You study finance, you study operations, supply chain, everything. So even the curriculum is very up to date. And lastly, the student-driven culture for me.
Okay. Yeah. Anything else? No? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Is there general management as well? No, there isn't. Okay. Okay. And business analyst, business analytics as well. Yeah, there were questions about those two as well. Yeah. Okay. So tell me, in between, we have to take a few snap questions again because there are some, who would like to have more tips on this. Okay, how many mocks should one take for snap? Of course, it all depends. It's a very subjective question. But then again, yeah, minimum, is there something like an average, how many mocks one should ideally take? And what should be the procedure? Is it like, one should take it first before even starting to prepare for for snap? How should one go for it? Tisha, can you answer?
Yeah, sure. So even though I said that I did backtracking, I had my friends who used to take mocks, like who took first mock, then prepared for the whole syllabus that comes in Snap, and then started taking mocks for alternate days. So different strategies work for different people. I get excited by looking at the score that I get, but some people don't. Like I know the topics, I sit and analyze. So for mocks, the most important thing you have to do is sit and analyze. No matter how many mocks you take, it is not dependent on that. It is dependent on how you analyze those mocks and how you come up with the strategies to clear those subjects or clear those things that you are not so good in. So that is something I would like to suggest. But try taking mocks, like if the I think Snap is almost in December. So if it is in December, start taking mocks in November. At least take 3 mocks a week. It would help you to be in that space, and it will help you to work on time also.
Well,
You might
November,
be able to solve.
if somebody is also preparing for CAT, isn't it difficult to take mocks for Snap right through, because November 26th is CAT. Yeah. How do you manage that?
So like I had a set of things in my mind. I focused on all the exams. It was not just CAT that I focused on. So even though I'm studying for CAT, 2 hours taking November is a hectic month for every aspirant. So 2 hours for Snap is something that you can take out maybe alternate days also. I would also like tell all the aspirants to give all the 3 attempts of Snap, because sometimes it is dependent on your mood also. Maybe like
Correct, yeah.
I remember that during my second attempt, CAT results came out, not the like final ones, but the marks, and those were not too good. So second attempt was not that much good, but I knew that I had to score good in third attempt, so I did it in the meantime. So that is something that is also very important.
Very good point. Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Tisha. Yeah. Okay, Agni, when did you start your preparation for Snap?
So I was primarily focused on CAT, and what I did was I had, like Samya, I had taken one mock of it. The advantage of Snap is it's a 1 hour paper. So even if you're taking a mock, you're giving an hour, not like not like the amount of time you're giving for a CAT or a ZAT mock, right?
Correct, yeah.
So everything for a Snap mock is lesser. It is the mock takes lesser, the analysis takes lesser time and all that. So it's not that difficult to allocate time to Snap. Number one. Secondly, but I did that very little before CAT just to see where I was and just to see if I was too far behind. And post that, so I give my first attempt of so we had like a 2 out of 3 that you could give for Snap. My first was in December, second was in January. So between the two I had like a week. But before the first one, I tried to give like as many mocks of Snap as I could. And so when you're in the exam session, right, you're not learning anything new. Once CAT is done, you're not going to learn new topics for yourself. And okay, so at that point of time, you can capitalize the amount of mocks you can give. At that, honestly, if you see 2 mocks a day is also very easy for Snap. 1 hour for the mock and another 2-3 hours for analysis. That's also very doable if you want to do Snap mocks properly. So Snap, you can actually focus and give more mocks then also. That works out fine.
Okay. Yeah. Let's move to the next section, internships and placements. Soumya and Agni, can you guys tell us very briefly the process for internship process? And Agni, if you can also take us from there to like, since, you've got a PPO. So yeah, if you talk about that bit, as in, how your internship kind of went, the entire process and your experience with it. Yeah. So Soumya, you can talk very briefly about the process. And then Agni, we can take over. And Naseem, you will be taking the entire placement process and then your experience. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So the summer internship process starts pretty early, considering that the preparation starts like the day we set our foot in the campus. So we are given all the resources. There are like many sessions to help you with every aspect that might be covered in the selection process of various companies. So it's like the usual process that happens in any B school. There's like day negative, then there's day 0, and then a couple of more days. During my time, the summer internship process was like completed pretty early. I ended up being placed in J&J. So also there's like 2 things. So you can get your summer internship process through the SIRP process. And also if you crack a case competition, you might end up getting a PPI or a PPO. So I got a PPI from a case competition, and that's how I ended up being at Johnson & Johnson.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Agni.
So yeah, like Soumya kind of covered the placement process, similar more or less. You have companies, you get shortlists, you sit for the process, right? Then you can clear it, and of course that you get your internship. So I got mine at Bain, and what you have to do is after that, I'll talk more about the after that bit, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So when you're in the this is something that worked for me again. So there's no Bible that you have to do this, okay? But for me, what really worked during my internship process was keeping an open mind and a learning attitude. That whatever comes your way, be very if you don't know it, be open to the next time when somebody asks you about it, you should know it. Number 1. Number 2, try to make yourself the best prepared candidate there is. Like whatever the company has to offer, like the kind of job you're getting, you can already do a bit of research for yourself and place yourself accordingly for your internship, right? You depending on the industry you're going to be working in, all that's already available to you prior. So what industry you'll be working with, the kind of work you'll be doing, so you can prepare yourself accordingly. And best is the alumni network. There's a high chance you'll have seniors in the company that you're going to work in. So the best thing, and trust me, people are often shy to do this, but do not. The alum at SIBM are very, very helpful. Just drop a message to any alum. You go on LinkedIn, drop a message, tell them that, hey, I'm from SIBM Pune, I've gotten an internship here. What would you suggest? They would go out of their way to help you, no matter how high their position in the organization is. They will give you tips that will make a difference. So definitely do that, leverage that very well.
Okay. Yeah.
More or less.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Asim, can you talk, very briefly the placement process, and then just move to your experience. Of course, you were also PPO'd, was it?
Yeah.
So you can just talk briefly about your experience then.
Yeah.
And a little bit about the placement process, like from internship to placement process. If you have friends who had to go through the entire process, what was it like? Just a little bit.
Yeah, I think there are 2 things, right? First is the summer internship process. Second is the CRP, that is campus placement process at the second year. For your SIRP, I think most of the things are covered. So RSDT is the council who will help you prepare for the interviews and GDs, etc. And there, I think they will give you more than enough ammunition to be prepared for your SIRP process. And in terms of SIRP interviews, as everyone is covered, there's like day minus companies which come before your block of 4 or 5 days of placement, and there is like day 0, day 1, and stuff like that. So I got placed into AB InBev in day 0 itself. So for us, it was like we didn't have any seniors. That was the first time
Hmm.
ABN was coming on campus. So
Okay.
what I did to prepare is that you have a rough idea because they give pre-placement talks, right? So you can
Hmm.
prepare about the companies which have given pre-placement talks, and
Hmm.
you prepare what business they are in, how they are performing, and then if they've disclosed what role they are hiring for, then you can maybe talk to people on LinkedIn, as Agneep said. So that is
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
first part. Once you get selected into the organization, then I think in your internship, I think it's very important that you understand that you might be given a target, but you try to map out your entire 2 months because 2 months might go very quickly. So
Hmm.
try to understand how you're going to finish your project within 2 months, or I would say less than 2 months, and give last 2 weeks of your internship to just either improving your project or presenting to the various people in the organization who will then vouch for
Okay.
you to get a PPO. So that is what worked for me. And
Okay.
for people who went through the CRP process, I think like many of my friends had to go through that. So I
Hmm.
think there the preparation is a little bit different because that is in your second year, and you believe then like you know that your internship probably has not given you a PPO.
Hmm.
People get really
Hmm.
tensed, but it's very important that the person who keeps very calm, that is the person who's probably going to nick the interview because
Hmm.
they're not asking or they're not expecting you to know everything. They
Hmm.
just want you to present yourself in a way that you are interested in their organization. You know what you have done in your career or your profile, and then whether or not you'll be able to contribute to the organization in the best way. Try to
Okay.
make that clear, and you shouldn't have any problems.
Hmm. Okay. But tell me, what if, if somebody have had a PPO, so somebody did an internship, got a PPO,
Yeah,
but
they
they
don't
don't
want to
want
go.
to go for that and they want to sit for the final placement. Is it possible? Is it
So
allowed?
in during my year there were
Huh.
instances. So
Huh.
the placement team had divided companies into group like A, B, and C, and
Hmm.
group A companies are like the cream companies which you cannot reject a PPO to. Either
Okay.
I
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
wouldn't want also,
Huh.
and I think in group B there are some exceptions, and group B
Okay.
I think you're allowed to sit. But I think other
Okay.
panelists can correct me if the process
Yeah.
has changed since
Has
then.
it changed? Agni, has it changed?
So
Like
there's
at your in yeah.
the placement policy,
Hmm.
changes, keeps getting
Okay.
updated. So
Hmm.
it's you get to know it the year you are there. So there's no point of us
Okay.
sharing ours. Ours was also very
Hmm.
similar to Asim. So it
Hmm. Hmm.
gets
Hmm.
changed. But from like an economic standpoint, it makes sense to realize that if you get a job, it makes sense you get that job and somebody else gets another job. Like
Correct.
at the
Yeah.
end of the day, it is what makes sense. It happens in all B schools, okay, everywhere.
Hmm. And I'm
So
also guessing, I mean, if you were so good at your job during the internship, they must have given you PPO because of that. And if
yeah.
you're good, that means you might have liked it. Yeah. So that could also be. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And also tell me something. Is there any particular kind of, yeah, this is a little bit going back. Uh, is there any particular kind of profile? Is there a profile centric selection at SIBM, like as in the varied, because there are different B schools with different kind of profiles that they prefer. The more varied it is, the more diverse it is, higher chances. Is there something?
Not anything specifically towards that. So
Huh.
SIBM's one of the best part about SIBM is they do not give that much weightage to your profile, right? So
Okay.
it talks about, so if you I think the exact weight difference in weightage is also given on the website, so you can check
Okay.
that, but it's primarily focused on your PI, your G, your WAT, and your snap score. So there's
Okay.
no specific profile weightage. But what helps is definitely know your profile well. Like I said earlier, whatever profile you're from, like if Soumya says she's from zoology but she doesn't know the difference between fungi and algae, then
Hmm.
you're not going to make it through. Let me just be clear.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Okay. And Asim, tell me, during the placement process, is there uh, are there buddies that are given to you for from the particular, like
Yes.
for consulting for operations? So yours was what in
Yeah.
operations, was
Yeah,
it?
so I had
Okay.
specialized in operations, and
Okay.
again, the RSDT Council will assign one
Okay.
senior
Okay.
who has a similar profile to yours, and then
Hmm.
you can go and get your CV reviewed from them. You can go and ask your seniors to conduct mock
Hmm.
interviews. So I did that. Like I went to my seniors and asked them to conduct mock interviews for me. So yes, the buddies are assigned, and they are very like I felt they were very helpful because they've gone through the process just 1 year ago, right? So then
Yeah.
it does help a lot.
Yes.
Hello everyone. Today, I'll give you a glimpse into my life at SIBM Pune. As I draw back the curtains, I'm welcomed by the tranquil view of our campus. Give me a moment as I get college ready. It's time to head out and conquer the day. As I step out, I'm already feeling excited about the day ahead. The beautiful hostel that you see behind me is Calendula. We have 3 more: Petunia, Gulmohar, and Lotus. As I head to the mess, I catch a whiff of the mouth-watering breakfast and inviting coffee. The canteen is truly a culinary heaven. As I walk towards the admin block, I make an everyday stop. The aqua point never fails to mesmerize me. This is the staircase to the college I have dreamt of reaching. Let me head to the library for a quick read before classes begin. It's almost time for classes, and I'm walking towards our block. The SIBM Pune on the iconic red wall is more than just letters for our students. Almost every day between classes, I find myself drawn towards Simbi Eats like a magnet. We also have Sandipani Home Hotel, the perfect blend of a classy hotel and a warm place for family to stay. Being a student-driven campus, the council and special interest groups are the heart and soul of our campus. As I wrap my council work and walk down the stairs, I can't help but reflect on the incredible impact I have made. On my way back to the hostel, I enjoy a busy bicycle ride. Although the clock ticks fast and time flies in blink of an eye, the sun never sets at SIBM Pune. Students get to explore and pursue their passions and interests. The diverse range of activities ensure that there's something for everyone, whether it's sports, arts, athletics, or more. From the crack of dawn to the late hours of the night, the campus is alive.
Thank you so much, Soumya. That was a brilliant one.
Yeah, so this is my core group that we had.
Yeah.
This is PMC. We celebrate all the birthdays and stuff like that. So really, a very lively place till like 2 a.m. in the night. This is my graduation photo. So this is in the CAT block. This is just one photo I've clicked at the amphitheater.
Yeah.
Again, this is the CAT block. It's beautiful trees and really amazing site. And yeah, I have one more. This is near the
Yeah.
hostel.
Right.
It's beautiful sunset. You have a wonderful path for cycling.
Mm.
It's just few of them, but I think the campus is just absolutely stunning.
Yeah. Very nice.
This is the Calendula hostel that we are.
Oh, yeah. It's saw that. Yeah.
So this is just random sunset at SIBM. We were going for an outbound and we happened to see a rainbow, so
Oh, wow.
we needed a shoot.
Yes.
And this is a rainy day where you can see the clouds over here.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Just
Very
stunning.
nice.
That's all I have, I think.
I wanted to see some festival photos actually, like you know,
I have a few that can scare a few people. Wait, I'll share my screen.
Yeah.
Yep. So Soumya probably knows what I'm talking about. Yep. Can you see my screen?
Yes. Oh, nice. Is this Halloween?
So we had Halloween. So with this, we have
this
this group
Ozzy Osbourne.
yeah. So we had there's this council called SGC. They
Okay.
conduct this event called Simbi Heart, where the students are given a chance to give their own stalls and see what business feels like. So they go out, get stalls and all that. And this was a little Halloween themed.
Yeah.
So the guy dressed as the nun is basically me.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh. And honestly speaking, I thought that's Ozzy Osbourne.
Well, and so we all dressed up whatever we could, and about the rains one day when me and my friends, it was just raining and we decided to get our cycles and go out. So
yeah, look at the sky and
it's beautiful. It's always beautiful at
beautiful
SIBM.
horizon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very pretty. Yeah, beautiful.
Hmm.
Thanks. Just maybe Tisha and Soumya, if you guys can provide tips on personal interview. How do you prepare for personal interview? As in even for current affairs and all that, how are you guys preparing for those? Like it cannot be done in one day or a month, right? So how are you planning it out? So maybe one tip from Tisha, one tip from Soumya, Agneep and Asim, if you guys can give tips on a snap prep, one tip each. One quant maybe and one some other section, something like that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Tisha, then Soumya.
Okay, so for me, the way to crack personal interview is to be confident, know your subjects well, know whatever you know well, and don't, if you don't know answer, just say no, that I am not aware of it. I'll learn about it. For current affairs, start reading newspapers, and there are some series, like I know IMS does it. There is a GDPI process that you guys
we have a
do.
booklet.
Yes. So make sure you are thorough with it, and whenever you sit for an interview, make sure you know the news of that day. So
Correct.
that is all I would do.
Yeah. Soumya.
So similarly, for interviews like the resources from IMS, so more than enough for me. For general knowledge, I tend to go to YouTube because like video format works better for me. So if you're someone who has like a pain reading the newspaper, this is some option you can explore. Even there are like certain apps for it. Prepare holistically. So I would suggest after December, once you're confident that you will be getting a couple of interview calls, start preparing for your interviews because it's not like you can prepare within a few days and you'll be good to go. So if considering for SNAP specifically, if the result is announced approx around 10th January, you still have like a whole month to prepare. So devote that time, work on your communication skills. Just like Asim pointed out earlier, that if you do not know the answer to any question, just admit it modestly. Do not try to oversmart the panelists because they will catch it. Then lastly, know yourself, know your resume. If you're not able to answer something related to that, that is something that cannot be salvaged. So make sure you're thorough with everything that you've provided in your resume, your graduation subjects, your hobbies, your interests, whatever you have mentioned.
Yeah. Agneep, one on snap prep. Quant
Yeah,
or
sure.
which one do you want to take? Yeah.
I'll go with quant. Is that okay? Asim?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
for quant prep, I'll go with two tips. One, definitely, I'm not sure if Snap still has a calculator. If it has one, do not rely on it. Okay, please do not even think about using a calculator. Do the math yourself. 1 minute a question. Don't go to the calculator. The questions mostly are solvable without using calculators. Okay, that's the trick one. Second is, I would say, be very you should know how well you can answer a question. Don't in Hindi I would like to say josh mein hosh mat khona exam mein. Okay, just because you feel like question is something I'll kill it. Don't. You can kill it at your home, it's fine. Don't kill it on the paper. Mein choose the easiest question. Choose the easiest question that you feel. Go ahead, Asim.
Yeah, really good tips, I think, for points. I think maybe for verbal, what I would say is that comprehension is quite important. So make sure that your reading skills, I think that is something you just need to be very focused on. Whenever you get a question, do not waste time in reading it 2 or 3 times. I'd already said this, but it's very important. And also make sure that you don't get scared if you don't know the answer to something, because there are so many questions there and you might miss out on a very easy question because you got scared of like one scary question right at the start. Make sure you read all the questions, and if you're not able to read through all the questions, then I think it's a sin. I would say that you should be able to read through the paper at least completely.
Okay. All right. Okay. That's all the time we have for this session. And before we wrap up, I would like to thank all the attendees for all your questions. And I would like to give my special thanks to all the panelists. Thank you, Soumya. Thank you, Agneep. Thank you, Asim. Thank you, Tisha. Thank you so much for all the insights you guys have provided regarding SIBM Pune and generally about MBA. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.